Welcome to what is called Hong Kong's Rhino Rock.
Kinda looks like Pumbaa, to be honest.
Finding this rock fairly easy. All you have to do is
Pass by a heavily guarded prison, go through some trees, crawl around some sand, and here you are.
And today I continue my explore around Hong Kong with this tiny little camera, the Ricoh GR IIIx.
Today's area, Stanley.
Honestly, I think I went out on a good day, which you'll see more later in the video. I didn't expect though that I'd have some company here on a Monday morning, but they made for a cute snap.
And now we are heading back to the main Stanley area and passing by some attractions later on, like a beach, a market, a promenade, and some colorful streets. Oh, and I also plan to practice a bit on the snap focus mode of this Ricoh GR IIIx, which I think is a feature that is quite game-changing for my street photography, to be honest. And I'll talk about that later in this video.
The first thing I did in Stanley was to visit this small Buddhist temple before having my lunch just beside the main plaza square. Filled with vibrant red and gold color decorations, I watched as some visitors offered their donations and prayers. However colorful this temple was, this is just one of the many interesting spots in Stanley we'll visit today as I spend the whole afternoon exploring. But first, let's have some lunch.
So after that hike, I was just craving for a burger. No idea how to be a food photographer. And I just had one at one of my favorite burger chains here in Hong Kong. So now, time to explore. I'm not really sure if Stanley is considered to be a hidden gem. I mean, if you're living in Hong Kong, it's a well-known spot to go to for the weekend, for a day trip. Or if you're extremely loaded, you can also live here. There's a lot of fancy villas for you to stay in. But if you're only traveling in Hong Kong, then you probably imagine a city to be just full of skyscrapers, dim sum, shopping, even Disneyland.
And I can't find it.
This place is not that at all. It's a very, very picturesque seaside town, and I haven't been here since like 2018 or 2019, so it would be good to explore what's new and what's up. So I kind of forgot to find new recipes to try out today with the Ricoh GR IIIx. So I'm just going to be using my go-to, which is called the Positive Emulsion, which I think works out really well for a bright day like this because of the yellow-green color grading. And it also has low contrast, which gives off that very dreamy look in the photos, which I'm kind of into nowadays. Yeah, now I'm just exploring the Stanley Main Square. It's a Monday. So the Christmas market is not operating, I think it's only on the weekends, but the scene behind, there's just a lot of sampans over there, so I'm trying to focus on those. And I can also see the promenade over there, which is, I think, quite popular for pre-weddings. So this is called the Blake Pier, which is very, very nicely structured. And as it turns out, there's another pre-wedding shoot over here. So very, very popular spot. And yeah, just a nice spot to sit around, listen to the sound of the waves, and look at the sea. However enjoyable people watching at the pier was, it was time to explore some more. And I really had fun shooting around these rock shores because, well, these were some interesting foreground, and the people over there were just having fun, relaxing over with an enjoyable sea view. And I just had a lot of fun framing them up. But I'll come back to this spot later on with even more pleasing results. You'll see. For now, let's hit the beach. So I did mention that today's side quest is going to be practicing this feature of the Ricoh GR IIIx called the snap focus mode. And it's basically just allowing you to predefine how far your focus point will be. For example, if your subject is going to be 1 meter away or 5 meters away, you just set that in the camera, and then that point is going to be fixed for every shot that you take after that. And every shot, the camera doesn't need to readjust its focus anymore, which, to be honest, this camera's autofocus system is not completely reliable, and I have missed a couple of shots because of that. So why do I want to practice this feature a bit? Well, to be honest, I think a core skill in street photography is to be able to anticipate a moment as it happens. I mean, you don't need some tingling spidey senses or the power of foresight, but just being able to react and nail focus in every shot, I think that's going to be a game changer. And cutting down the time, fiddling around your settings or figuring things out, I think just lets you able to take home more keepers in terms of the shots and just gonna benefit your photography. So one setting to consider when you're using the snap focus mode is, of course, going to be your aperture, because the focus distance is just the point at which you want things to be in focus, and then your aperture will determine how wide your depth of field is going to be. So how many things within that focus point is going to also be in focus. And the neat feature in the Ricoh GR IIIx is that there's going to be a depth of field meter on the side. For example, if I choose to f8 and be there, very popular term in photography, and set my focus distance to around 5 meters, everything that's going to be 2 meters away from me and all the way up to infinity is going to be in focus. So if you've heard the term the hyperfocal distance, then that's going to be quite related to this. So very neat feature. It's a good thing that I decided to come on a Monday, otherwise this beach will be completely packed. And I might have to cheat a bit and not use my Ricoh because it's just giving away some Jesus light. 40mm is not going to be tight enough. I only have with me a 24-70, but maybe I can crop in a bit further and just focus in on those silhouettes and the light. Sorry for cheating.
This is the straight out of camera JPEG shot from the Ricoh, which honestly is decent enough already. And I edited the shot similar to how I edit my Sony photos and did this not so scientific but interesting comparison side by side. Very comparable, at least at a glance, without pixel peeping. This beach isn't the main one in Stanley, by the way. There's an even bigger one just a short walk away, but I ended up enjoying my time facing the sunset on this side and completely forgot to check out the main beach. No regrets though, because that light and relaxed mood was really nice, and I think the accompanying photos represented this quite well.
So because the light was really nice over there from the beach, I decided to now head back to the main square or the main street and see if there's anything interesting in frame to capture.
This would be a good time to share clips of my walk around the Stanley Market throughout the day, as it's just right beside the beach.
I really like the backlighting over here.
Obviously a lot more quiet than expected, considering it was a Monday and some stalls were closed. But that just gave me a good time to walk around, as huge crowds will just overwhelm me. And checking out the different stores was quite enjoyable, especially with Christmas around the corner. There are a number of things to see here, from beautiful art collections, Chinese jewelry and clothing, even electronic gadgets and more. Taking photos of the passers-by and shoppers though appeared photogenic, to be honest, considering they are surrounded by all the trinkets and framed by the shops. I ended up not buying anything though because no one sponsored this video in any way, so maybe subscribe if you enjoy the photos and adventures so far.
Wow, that light is something else. And I was drawn to it and just ended up going back to the same spot as a while ago. That is really colorful. Maybe I'll just stalk the hell out of these people and take photos of them.
A common theme in these photos is that people here seem to tend to go on a pair, almost rubbing off to my face that I'm the only one here alone, lurking on the side. I'm just kidding. I'm happily taking photos. Really though, I'm fine.
Kind of like the framing of the trees. Nice date. So the main area of Stanley is relatively small, but if ever you're here, there's a lot of bars, restaurants that you can check out. And I guess because it's approaching sundown, it's coming to life compared to when I first arrived here a few hours ago. There are Christmas lights opening up at the Murray House, so maybe I'll check that out too.
Built in the 1800s, Murray House is one of the oldest Western-style architecture in Hong Kong. I mean, I'm not an architect, but those are some nice, sexy shapes. It's had a colorful history, as once served as officers' headquarters for the British military, even rumors for being haunted due to prisoner executions in World War II, and now serves as a spot for the retail sector, but recently has seen a decline in tourism.
Well, that sucks. If you're interested to see more Hong Kong explorations with this tiny little camera, why don't you click on this video? I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.